Hey angels, so in a few seconds you're going to see what I look like before my beauty routine. And be warned, disclaimer, trigger warning, it's a little bit gnarly to see what it looks like with absolutely zero self-care. But I'm going to walk you through how I got from my before to this glowing after. So today I'm going to be talking about eyebrow lamination. There were other things I did, including fillers and a hydrofacial, which I'll show you in another video. But this was my brow lamination. Hello, I'm going to be walking you through what I do for a glow up. Now, glow ups are something that I've been doing for years. I'm YouTubing!
I miss you.
Babe, you ruined my video! I love you.
I'm YouTubing!
Here's my lamination process. Stay tuned for deep talks about relationships and narcissism.
Okay, so tell me everything about yourself, because I know you were Miss Utah. That's all I know.
Yeah, I was Miss Utah for 2 years, which is a long time, but that's because of COVID. And then I was also the first queer contestant at Miss USA. Like, since I'm bisexual, like I was the first person to talk about.
Chills. That's really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Good for you being from Utah and being open about it and everything.
Yeah.
That's brave. Good for you.
I got really lucky in terms of like people were much more receptive than I maybe thought would happen. I did pageants for like 7 years. I competed for Miss Utah 5 times before I won.
Oh my gosh. I just
Long
thought
time. Long time. So it definitely, I've always felt like very spiritually connected to pageants. I know that's like a weird thing to say, but I felt it was just like part of my purpose. So I kept coming back, and I definitely think it was all perfect the way it happened. So winning is not like exactly what you think it would be. There's a lot of like additional pressure and stress that comes with it, you know?
In which way? Tell me. That you learned afterwards, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, no one tells you this beforehand. Like, I think when I got crowned, I kind of thought like, oh well, winning Miss Utah is going to make me like a confident person. Oh. And there's a lot of truth to that, because like you do a lot of things to test your confidence to win a pageant, obviously.
Yeah.
But when I was crowned, I kind of thought that would be like it. Like I would just be like whole and like think that I was so, you know, think really
like you made it.
Like I made it. And I remember I got crowned and I just felt like an imposter. Like I was
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, and still like I wasn't good enough. And it really took like the whole 2 years for me to kind of get over that, you know? It wasn't until I probably gave up my crown that I really felt like real confidence in myself.
Well, and you're like, that really happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been acting since I was a kid.
Oh.
And that's why I'm all for not having the crazy fluffy brows, because you still want to look sort of natural when you're, you know, pursuing other characters. I've been dating my boyfriend for a year. We're in like a semi-open relationship, so I still date girls too.
Oh,
and
that's
like
cool.
My dreams to have like a boyfriend and a girlfriend, or like
I love that.
a husband and a girlfriend. So, but I haven't really been as focused on dating girls yet. I feel like I kind of want to have a more solid foundation with him first before I start like making things more complicated.
Yeah, yeah.
So
have you dated a lot of girls?
In my life, or
Yeah.
since I've been dating him?
Just in your life?
I've never had a girlfriend, which is part of why like I want to experience that at least, you know, like before I'm 100% monogamous. I think it would be kind of doing myself a disservice to not at least try having a more serious relationship with a girl. But I'm very much in love with my boyfriend, so I don't want to like get rid of him. So I'm having my cake and I'm eating it too, I guess. But no, I've never had a girlfriend. I really like want to, but I've dated girls where I've had more like flings for like a month or so.
I wonder if it's just, I wish I was like gay, because I say that all the time, because I just think, is it easier?
I think it's easier and harder. Girls are definitely, I think, harder to like, I don't know. Well, here's the harder part for sure. Like dealing with your own homophobia when you've been so conditioned that it's like not cool to like women.
Yeah.
Like I definitely am not as confident with dating girls. Like if I were to go to a bar and try to like flirt with guys, easy. If I were to go to a bar and try to flirt with girls, I would leave. Like I'm definitely more intimidated by women, especially because you don't always know when you're out and about if somebody's like interested.
Yeah, it's totally different, I bet.
Yeah, so you kind of have to like rely on dating apps, because that at least you know like, okay, this girl matched with me, like she's into girls.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there are girls that are super confident and don't care and just hit on everyone, which I respect.
Yeah, I do too. I wish I was like that.
Yeah. I do feel like women just tend to generally connect more emotionally.
Which is like what I'm like, that's what I want.
Yeah, but my boyfriend's actually pretty like, I mean, he's definitely suppresses some of his emotions, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a better emotional connection than I've had with most men. So I think there's a spectrum with men too.
The problem is I don't think I'm attracted to the healthy ones.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying though.
That's what therapy's for.
Well, that's why dating girls is so hard.
I know, right?
But if you're having the awareness, that's like 90% of it, you know?
Yeah.
So many people repeat the same patterns without even realizing it.
Yeah.
But I think it takes being willing to ask yourself very uncomfortable questions to be like in that space, you know?
Yeah, and like definite self-awareness.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's lacking.
It's not so hard to just like say you're, you know, you said at a restaurant, there's passive aggressive in how they order. Like, why is it so hard for them to just say what they want? Or, you know, like, why is it turning into some kind of power play at food, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've probably gotten in some fight over the course of my life with a partner where like I purposely ordered something expensive because I was mad at them or something.
Mm-hmm. That's totally,
Like-
that's normal passive aggressive behavior. You know what I mean?
Normal. But I'm like, so where does that come into someone's mind if it's like that all the time? Like, are they just feeling so insecure that they want to like
Yes.
assert dominance in any situation, or?
Yeah, it's about control. It's basically like control to, it's so scary. It's control. They break you down so you question every thought and opinion that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can control how you think, what you say. Like, they are the victim. You always think, then they don't have to be accountable for anything that they do. Because you're like brainwashed, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But it is literally all about control.
Eek.
And they just like to make you feel bad. And it just helps them feel better. To help them. Because they just have really weak egos.
Eek.
And they have agendas all the time. So, like, they might break up with you. Or you might break up with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all they care about is revenge. So they will, like, spend 6 months wooing you back. Making you fall back in love with them. Thinking they're amazing. Only to break your heart just to get revenge. Like, it's just, like, not normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's crazy.
they don't care if they hurt you because, like,
I wonder how much of that comes down to like the ability to regulate emotions, because I know when I'm really hurt by somebody, like right in that moment, I'm sure I have thoughts about I'm gonna get revenge. Okay, like I'm being really transparent, right?
yeah.
But those thoughts pass in like 10 minutes when I like emotionally regulate and I'm like, oh, okay, here's what happened in the situation. Like I'm not absolutely gonna get revenge.
Which
like
is
I'm
normal.
gonna express my feelings. And, like,
And that's actually exactly kind of what it is. Because
Yeah.
it's like,
I feel like they probably get stuck in that
they
emotional.
stop maturing emotionally.
Yeah.
In between, around first grade.
Wow.
So, like, we all mature physically and, like, spiritually and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And emotionally. But you and I kept going.
Yeah.
And they stayed there.
Yeah,
But they're adults.
but it's like it is like getting stuck in like that childlike mindset almost.
Yes. Well, because they are.
Yeah.
That's why they call them emotionally immature.
That's so interesting.
It is interesting, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And so if you pay attention to what they do and their tactics, you will you catch on to they have the same patterns, and they write books about it. Mm-hmm. And they act like children. Like, if you really pay attention and you're not in the abuse cycle and you're aware, it's like you're dealing with a 6-year-old. I'm a single mom with 4 kids right now. So if you know any cute boys,
You know what? I probably do.
oh, good. And how fluffy do you want your lamination to be?
I trust your judgment. What do you suggest would look best?
Okay, I don't want to trim them too much then, because you can comb them however you want.
What do you think normally looks best on people? Does it depend on the face or?
I'm not a huge fan of the really crazy looking laminations. I did recently get on TikTok. I've discovered TikTok, and
The TikTok.
sometimes some fluffy brows. It's just too much for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I also think there's like a difference between like the influencer brow, where you can kind of be more intense and like crazy
Yes.
because you're trying to look like a filter. It's like a very lifted, it like lifts the whole eye up,
It does, yeah.
and it's like more natural. It's not like too crazy. Thank you.
Yes.
How do you normally pick tones for this?
I kind of go off hair color, of course, and coloring, but I try to go off the person's personal style.
What made you decide dark brown for this situation?
I think it's gonna just make your eyes pop. I use dark brown, and I feel like we are sort of similar.
Yeah, we actually we could be twins.
I know, we're sisters.
Exactly.
What if we are related?
That would not surprise me.
Where'd you grow up?
Considering our dads. I grew up in Washington, actually. I didn't move to Utah till I was in high school.
No.
Yeah.
That was probably a big culture shock.
Yes and no. I was also like Mormon at the time, so for LDS now, I guess. So I loved it moving here because I was like still super religious and like.
There's no Mormons there to date.
In Seattle?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, and I was kind of bullied for being Mormon in Seattle, whereas here it's like you're bullied for not being Mormon.
Yeah.
So at the time it was like perfect, you know, I loved it. And honestly, like even though I don't practice the religion anymore, I still think this is an awesome place for kids to grow up. If you're using peels or retinols, like how long do you need to wait?
Retinols, I prefer like 5 to 7 days.
Okay.
Pills, at least 2 weeks.
That makes sense.
Like if they are just using a retinol like on their chin and they're like spot treating, they think, oh, I'll just say no, I don't use a retinol. But it actually gets in your bloodstream. So you always want to tell if before a wax that you're using a retinol.
That's really good to know.
Isn't that interesting?
Nobody told me that.
It's like, it's kind of creepy how anything you put on your skin gets in your blood. Yeah.
So I'm not supposed to wash it. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Are you kidding me? What?
I'm dying.
I can't believe it. That looks so good.
They are like beautiful. You've got great brows. I love your brow bone.
Thank you.
It's like big. I
It
love
is
it.
really
I
big,
live
yeah.
and die. Live and die for big brow bones.
I'm sorry, but that's like the best eyebrow ever.
Ever.
It's crazy how much more full they even look.
And you just like in the morning, I don't know what your brow routine is, but it just is so much easier. They look so good.
Yay! Babe, what do you think of my brows?
Wow, they're large.
Yeah, anything else you want to say?
No further comments at this time.
They do look a little crazy right now, huh? Not recording any of that, but
Did it even happen?
where do we go?
House.
Whose house?
Our house. In the middle of our street. Under our mountain.
So this is one day after my brow lamination and my fillers have settled. You can see the chin and the cheeks are a little more snatched, angular. I feel really confident. I feel like I don't need to even filter my pictures. Obviously, my skin still has a little ways to go, but it's so much better than it was even a week ago. And I'm just so happy.